next one. Consider a Hecksher-Ohlin model where Belgium and Luxembourg produce beer and chocolates. Suppose the relative supply curve of beer relative to chocolate for Belgium is beer over chocolate is 6 times the relative price of beer minus 60. So in Belgium, we've got the relative supply is beer over chocolate is equal to 6, the relative price of beer minus 60. Where the relative supply curve in Luxembourg is beer over chocolate equals Z, beer times relative price of beer minus 60. Beer over chocolate is equal to Z, relative price of beer minus 60. If Belgium exports beer, what is the most you can say about Z? All right, so what do we got? So we've got the relative price of beer. We've got the amount of beer over chocolate. So when we've got the relative supply curve is 10 in Belgium, when the relative price is 10, they're not going to make any. So their relative supply curve looks something like that. And so what we're really asking is Luxembourg going to be above or below this? Well, what are we given? If Belgium exports beer, it means their autarky price of beer has to be lower, autarky in Belgium, has to be lower than what it's going to be in Luxembourg. So we know the relative supply curve for Luxembourg has to lie up there somewhere. So what does that mean? Well, it means that for them to produce 0 beer, that relative price is going to have to be even higher. So what that tells us is this thing's going to have to be higher. So what do we got here? So if this was, say, 5, well then at a price of not 12, that's where they would produce beer. So that would work. And so what we know is where we're starting off is such that Z has to be less than 6. So again, you can prove it in general, but just pick a number. Just say, okay, suppose it's 5. Where is that intersection? Oh, that's 12. That's above 10. That works. Suppose that's, I don't know, 3. Well, then what would that right there be? Well, that would be then below that point. Or I'm sorry, that would also be above that point. But suppose it was 10. Well, then that point here would have to be 6. 6 is bigger than 10. So that doesn't work. So again, what we're doing is we're taking the relative supply curves. We're knowing what demand looks like, so we know how they have to compare with each other. And then we're just picking out what numbers would work for that. So anything less than 6 would work.